It's 8:58 on the ticket. You got the Musers from California and Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard. We'll get some fantastic Friday feedback coming up in the corner at 9:15. Then a camp report, David Moore, 9:35. But joining us right now at our ticket location here at training camp is a man who set a new record for punting average in Dallas Cowboys history just last season with a mark of over 48 yards per punt. It's Bryan Anger. Good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
Good. We appreciate the time this morning. This is kind of the special teams show of record on our station. We're going to do special teams, and I grew up. I was a terrible football player, but I always had a fascination with punting, and that's what I always wanted to do. The problem is I didn't play soccer as a kid, which I'm assuming you did.
Yeah, I started like 4 years old. That started
Yeah,
real early.
see, that's where I got messed up. I never played soccer, so I didn't have a very strong leg.
We used to go out and punt in college, and he fancied himself a really good punter. The problem is his net was probably about 15 yards a kick.
It may have been a little longer.
The hit and roll type?
Yeah. I learned how to hit a spiral. It just didn't go very far. That was my question, though, because it would look. You have to admit, it looked pretty cool going away from you, didn't it?
Yeah, it
My
did.
spirals were okay.
For the very short time it was in the air,
like
it looked good.
I punted on our intramural team. Okay, when it was time to punt, it was always a big play. But I never could turn it over. When was the first time you turned a punt over and you went, wow, that's really cool, and it went like 40 or 50 yards?
We had like a freshman tryout. I never played football until freshman year of high school, so they held just a tryout, anybody who could kick. And we kicked field goals, and then afterwards just kind of punted just to see if we could do it. And had a couple bad balls probably, and then turned one over. My coach was like, all right, you're the guy. So yeah, freshman year just started up.
That's pretty cool. And you grew up out here in Camarillo?
Yep.
Just down the road?
Yeah, 15 minutes down the road. So Camarillo High School, grew up here and been here all my life, all the way through college.
So what was it like growing up in California? Because to us, it seems like, the perfect place to grow up with the weather and the beach and the mountains and the amusement parks and just everything we always see on TV. Was it that idyllic that it was just so great to grow up here?
Yeah, I didn't really realize it. I guess I was so spoiled with weather. I grew up surfing, classic California kid, surfing, skateboarding, mountain biking, got into snowboarding. It's 2 hours away to Big Bear, so you could literally go surfing in the morning and go out and go snowboarding in the afternoon.
That's
if you wanted
so great.
To. So pretty cool. Yeah. We never did that, but you can do it, and we could see snow from our backyard. So you could see snow in the mountains a couple hours away. So it's pretty cool.
And in the off season, you still come back here?
In the off season, I'll come back here to visit.
Okay.
Hometown now. I met my wife in Tampa when I was out there with the Bucks. So another great place to be. Water in your backyard, and I'm a huge fisherman and hunter. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
So have water in the backyard and can go fishing in the snap of your finger. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Cowboys punter Bryan Anger with us here, Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard. So then you go to Cal and you kick there. At what point did you start thinking, I could do this in the NFL?
We got probably junior year of high school. I went Chris Saylor kicking is a big kicking guru, I'll say, out here. Going from high school to college, a lot of big scholarship offers, and he's got huge camps in Vegas that have hundreds of kickers and punters and snappers. So went there as a junior in high school. Went to small lessons with Chris and did well. I never knew what I was doing. Actually, I argued with my parents whether I should be a kicker or not. I played wide receiver, and I thought I was going to get a baseball scholarship, so chased that. And my parents wanted me to be able to know what I was doing kicking-wise to be able to make it an important field goal at the end of a game, bumping up to the varsity level. So I fought them for like a month and said, I'm not a kicker. Kickers aren't real athletes. I'm going to play football. I'm going to play baseball. And finally they talked me into going to Chris for a small lesson. Did well. He told me if I come to it was October, I think, if I came to his event in the beginning of January and did well, I'd get interest and maybe get an offer or something like that. went and won it as a junior in high school as an underclassman, and then everything just took off. So,
Wow.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a big deal when you
Yeah.
go. I mean, there's hundreds of kids at those things
Yeah.
from all over the country.
Yeah.
So did you have a lot of offers besides Cal?
I think I had like 8 official offers. So had some and then turned some down. Like far East Coast, I wasn't going to go that far away. I wanted to be semi-close, good school, good program. Ended up being Cal. So
And then you get drafted. Did you have a clue of that? Was your representative saying, I think you got a chance to get drafted here?
yeah, there were multiple coaches that told me that they wanted to potentially take me in the 3rd round. So when you hear that, you should get drafted. I didn't think I'd get drafted in the 3rd. I thought I'd get drafted like 5th or after. That's just normal. But had multiple coaches tell me that it could be a possibility. So we had some friends and family over for dinner during the 3rd round. And I get that call, and I was like, "Holy smokes, it's actually happening!" So yeah, you don't.
ESPN didn't have a camera there to get your reaction.
No, they missed out on that one. Yeah.
I've always thought that the punter had a pretty good life, pretty good job until that snap is muffed. And then what is that moment like when something breaks down in the chain there? Maybe the ball suddenly is on the ground, or it's a low snap and you're trying to field a one-hop or something like that, or it's over your head. How hard is it to keep your poise, to try to size up what's coming at you, and what is that moment like?
When you get that instant jerk to your body where you just go, oh, and it hits you all of a sudden. You get that jolt. No, my freshman year in college had a snap that was high, and we have to get the ball off quick. You have pretty much 2 seconds from the beginning of the snap to ball off your foot, so you've got to be quick. Ball was high. I was lunging forward to start my steps, goes through my hands.
Oh, no.
So had to turn around, run back, get the ball. It's Michigan State. We were top 20 teams, I think. It was a really big game, first game of the year. Turn around, try to kick it. Was trying to decide if I kicked the ball left-footed or right-footed at that point, just to get it downfield.
Right.
And I thought I had a portion of a second to be able to take one more step and kick it right-footed. I did not. Guy came in and hit me in the knee, wiped me out. I kind of twisted my knee a little bit. Coach Tedford comes out on the side. I'm running off the field. 2 punts later, I have my knee wrapped up in tape, like 8 layers of tape. 38-31. We're up by 7. We have to punt with a minute left to try to pin them deep to hold them to win the game. I go in. My leg is taped up. I can't flex my leg to clear the ground to whip it to kick. So my leg is straight. I rock the grass with my toe, hit a bad ball that goes out of bounds like 30 yards. Coach Tedford looks at me and says, "Brian, did you mean to do that?" And I just had no answer for him. It was mostly negativity that would have come out. But, like, of course I meant to do that with my leg taped up stiff. Yeah. So, yeah, hopefully that never happens. That's really the only time that has happened for me. I haven't really bobbled one.
That's
knock on
good.
wood.
Well,
Yeah.
you've hit a lot of rockets over the years around the NFL and after your career at Cal. Okay, a couple of things. You hit the video board at the stadium last year.
Yeah.
Could you hit that thing every time let's say you're at the 30, could you hit it every time if you wanted to?
Maybe not every single time, but I could hit it on demand.
So do you have to factor that in of how you hit it or where you hit it when you punt?
Yeah. We're directional all the time, pretty much. So we'll kind of go hash. If we're right hash, you don't want to go across field and go to hit that in the middle. If we go right to left, you have a potential to hit it on its way up. So
have you thought about going upstairs and telling Jerry, could you just raise that like 10 feet?
I think
You'd help my average a
How
little
many
bit.
feet does it need to be raised in order for it to not be a factor?
it's still a big ball. You can hit a 5-second punt and you can get it like up and through the in between 2 of the cross supports. So you can hit it. It's a big ball. It's not the easiest thing to hit, but it's doable. I think he raised it too, didn't he, in the
He
beginning?
did. He
Yeah.
raised
He did,
it, reluctantly, and he raised it up a little bit.
'Cause
How
there
much
was
more
a
do you think it needs to be raised in order for it to not be into the
I
Like
don't
if it
know.
went up 10 feet,
mean,
would you stop being able to hit it?
I don't think it's a huge factor.
Yeah.
It's there, like you can hit it, but that thing's way up there.
Yeah.
You don't realize that yeah, you have to hit a good ball, and you have to hit it down the middle where most guys are hitting directionally. So
Right.
it takes it out of the factor. Yeah.
Do you know what the longest punt in NFL history is?
Smart man.
I have no idea. Probably high 80s. High 80s, low 90s. Yeah.
That's the Cowboy record. Ron Whidbey hit an 84-yarder. The NFL record is actually 98 yards by Steve O'Neill of the Jets in 1969.
All of it in the air.
Yeah. That's
About
crazy.
75 of it was in Denver, so it carried a long way, and then it bounced and went all the way back to the one. Your longest?
I did it in high school. I stopped like after my sophomore year to focus more on punting. So I could do it definitely. I can hit a 50+ yarder, but just come off a little bit more low and don't know where it's going. So
Yeah. See, to me, the 60-yard punt's more impressive than the 60-yard field goal.
Huh.
I did it.
Yeah. I think it's a thing of beauty to hit a 70-yard punt.
Yeah.
I think that is amazing. Well, we appreciate the time this morning. Good luck to you.
All right.
Try to stay away from hitting the scoreboard and all that.
It's not a factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it there.
We'll keep it right there.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, have a great season.
And the sun never blinds you when you're in the stadium, does it?
Definitely
Those,
not.
those
Not a
curtains
factor
don't,
at all.
Yeah.
don't need to be
Yeah.
closed.
No,
What are you doing?
again,
Doing to
smart
Brian
guy.
here. Brian's trying to have a good time.
He knows how headlines are created these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, thanks.
All right. Thank you guys.
That's Cowboys punter Bryan Anger with us here. And Oxnard up next, the corner with Gordo.
Yes, and it's Friday.